good day. I said good day to my fans, my subscribers, my friends, friendly people that clicked on my video. We're going to be discussing UFC 154 and champion versus champion here. Basically, I want to talk about it anyway. As far as MMA goes, we're pretty much forced to watch UFC nowadays, especially after the fall of green. So, after 153, Bonner and Silva are going to throw down. And, let's face it, after Silva defeats Bonner one way or another, God bless Bonner. Seriously, balls of steel for taking that fight. But do you see it going his way? Let's not get hung up on that. Let's go straight into this, okay? GSP doesn't want to be GSP in this fight. I just read this on online. He said he wants to bring back the old George Rush St-Pierre, and if that's true, if that does happen, no one on earth will be more excited than me. I think he's a bore. I think he needs to come out in a fucking singlet and earmuffs to every fight instead of his fucking karate pajamas. He doesn't fight like a karate fighter. He doesn't fight like a boxer, and he certainly doesn't fight like a champion. Here's why I say that. He never goes for the kill, for the finish. He has the killer instinct of a deer. Let's face facts, people. He had Josh Koscheck, that jab. After training with Freddie Roach on his jab, he used it extremely well. Pinpoint precision on Koscheck's right eye, causing it to break, swell shut, so Koscheck cannot see anything coming from the left side. And this was after round 1 that it started to swell. After round 2, it was shut and stopped mid-fight between rounds by doctors checking him out constantly. You would think that George St-Pierre would have a game plan for, okay, if this does happen, if I do wound. And Koscheck taunted the fuck out of him. He's a shit talker. He's from Pittsburgh. We're all shit talkers, except for me. I'm a nice guy. But they did a season of The Ultimate Fighter, and he slammed him the whole time. He even walked up to him and said, "Georgie, I'm gonna punch you right fucking here." It ended up being the other way around. George St-Pierre punched him repeatedly in the face, but never, went in to finish the fight. He's content with 5-round decisions. That's how it's been the last 5 fights, I believe. And he's got to change it up. But I'm not going to believe it until I see it. To me, he's goddamn sleeping pill. He's going to wrestle and hope a submission rears its head. That's what I think is the story of just about every George St-Pierre fight. But hey man, if Rush does come back into play, and he comes with a well-rounded game that he does have, but just prefers to wrestle. But I just think if he does come out and we see the same GSP or George St-Pierre, the same Rush that fought Mayhem Miller, strike with Condit, I think it's going to be an awesome spectacle for about 2 minutes until GSP gets hit, doesn't like it, and reverts back to what he knows and does best, and that is wrestling and grinding out a decision. Excellent fighter, just too boring for me. Now let's move on to Condit. Condit, let's not forget, he was a very, very dominant champion before the WC got rid of the welterweight division. He was very dominant, especially with the submissions. His ground game was very tight. He was very well rounded, but it was the ground game, his submissions, that earned him most of his victories. I think it was Carlo Prater that he ended up getting the 170-pound strap in the WEC from. He was avenging a loss. It was a rematch, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I don't really do that much research, so I don't do too much. I do a little, but not enough to to promise you that that's exactly how he won his belt. Regardless, I loved Condit in WEC. He had a rough start to the UFC, losing a split decision to Campman when I thought he was going to destroy Campman, man. And by the way, Campman's on fire right now. I just seen him on a fucking Safe Auto commercial the other day. So our sport's making it, guys. At least it's getting there. Anyway, back to Condit. I had him winning that fight. It was hard to score. Unofficially, I had him 29-28. 2 judges saw it the other way and gave Campman the win, spoiling Condit's UFC debut. However, Karma has a way of working things out. He gets a fight with Jake Ellenberger that I feel he lost, split decision, and got the nod. You know, I mean, that's just how it played out. But yeah, so but what I want to get into is his fight with who I think is going to be one of the next greats. I mean, he's you know what Vitor Belfort considers the new breed. You know, this is one of them. He's coming from TriStar Gym. He's up there training with GSP. He's Canadian. He's young. He's hungry. He's well rounded. Rory McDonald fought Carlos Condit. I believe my wife and I saw it live, and uh, it had to be UFC 115 Liddell Franklin because that's the last one we went to. Um, uh, he was beaten up for about 14 minutes. Condit. I mean, he was dropped. Rory threw a brilliant Anderson Silva, like before Anderson Silva knocked out Vitor Belfort with that front kick. I saw it used by by Rory McDonald to knock down Carlos Condit at the end of one of these rounds. He outstruck him. He outkicked him. He took him down at will. For 14 minutes, this was the story of this fight. It looked like, he's gonna get the decision over Condit. You know, this is gonna be, and Condit has. If there's one aspect of it's not even an aspect of his game. What it is if there's one trait that Carlos Condit has, is he has a fuck it switch. Fuck this, and just goes. Whatever happens. He's gonna stand in front of you. He's going to stand up in front of you, throw hooks, straights, combos, kicks, and he will go tit for tat, blow for blow until one of you, it's either me or you, motherfucker, one of us is falling down. I mean, and he has a tendency to do this. We saw it in the Dan Hardy fight. No one has ever put Dan Hardy to sleep like that. They both landed punches at the same time. Carlos had a better punch, a better angle, a bit more strength, and knocked Dan Hardy out cold in England. It was, I mean, you can't deny that Carlos Condit was an excellent champion, is an excellent champion, an awesome fighter. Look, man, what made me famous, I'm sorry, I am in no way, shape, or form famous. What got me um, into making videos and people asking me, when's your next one coming out, was a video I made about Carlos Condit and Nick Diaz. I had made a few before this, but that video, I mean, it's one of my top viewed. I think it's up to 13,000 or something, and it's not bad considering, I mean, the shit-ass camera we had and how fucking drunk I was, and me and Jackie did it. I'll put her Twitter up. You can check her out anytime. She has a really cool YouTube site too. Anyway, we get on there and we just bitch for like 15 minutes. You know, so let's not go there. Really obsessed. Yeah, I mean, truly, we did rewatch it and she scored it a draw. And I still give Nick 1, 2, and 5, baby, 209. Shout out to Nick Diaz, by the way. Thank you very much, brother, for the likes, the comments, and the subscription. Just all your support, man. Really, I mean, you have no idea. Listen, Nick Diaz likes a video. The views go from 800 to 8,000 in one day. Trust me. Yeah, I owe a lot to Nick Diaz. This light is on because of Nick Diaz. He paid my last utility bill. Anyway, back to UFC 154. He barely defeated Rory McDonald. If he wouldn't have hit that bucket switch and got the takedown, or I think it was even a reversal, and just beat him into and convince the referee that Rory had enough, gets the TKO victory in Canada with less than a minute to go. It looked like he was going to lose. He hit the bucket switch. Fuck Greg Jackson. Fuck points. And knocked out. Got the TKO over, to me, an amazing fighter in Rory McDonald, who's fighting BJ Penn in December. Can't wait to see that. He followed this up with a knockout, a beautiful flying knee knockout to Dong Young Kim, and Dong Young Kim is huge and strong and well-rounded, especially his judo and striking. He's an amazing fighter. Carlos puts him to sleep. So we got Dan Hardy, a world-renowned striker, KO'd, and then we got him throwing fucking leaping, flying knees at Dong Young Kim, who I don't believe was ever stopped like that in the octagon. And yeah, man, Carlos can do it all too. This is not a Stephan Bonner 13-1 underdog type of spread, 15-1. He's only a 3-1 underdog. And to me, that's respectable. What it is showing the champion respect and pretty much nothing more. Other than George St-Pierre's massive winning streak. That there's pretty much nothing more to it. In this fight, my predictions, I'm still going to go ahead, be cliche, and go with George St-Pierre for the win. Why George St-Pierre for the win? I just don't see, like I said earlier, I can see him getting hit, reverting back to the wrestling. I can see a decision, clearly. Condit's shot at winning. Keys to victory in that cage for Carlos Condit are going to be for him to be unpredictable. As unpredictable and stop the double leg. Those are going to be his main two keys to victory. Check this out, though. Wouldn't that be some shit if Carlos Condit just totally Matt Serra GSP after all this time as being criticized, scrutinized for being a little boring, going to decision. Carlos gets there and just fucking knocks him out. To me, that would be more exciting than if Bonner were to defeat Silva. I don't see that happening at all. But if it does, I'm gonna be pretty stoked. I mean, that's a pretty big. That's a big deal to me. But Condit and GSP, I mean, Anderson is ranked pound for pound number 1. GSP is ranked pound for pound number 2. So if GSP gets dethroned by Carlos Condit, man, that would just be amazing. That would be amazing. Just to me, it would just be amazing to me. More amazing than if Anderson Silva were to get beat by Bonner. But I just do not see how the fuck that's possible at all. So. I'm not going to say that ever again, man. That fight shouldn't even be happening. Second, the co-main event, Kampman versus Hendricks. In this fight, Kampman's been on fire, but so is Hendricks. Hendricks is right up there for a shot at the title, I feel. My pick for this, he's on fire right now. He's going to put a stop to the win streak of Johnny Hendricks. I'm going with Martin Kampman to bet. Carmont versus Lawler. You know what? I like Tom Lawler so much. I'm gonna say Tom Lawler just because I think he's so fucking funny. Love Chad Griggs. Love Diabate. Let's see. The striking definitely goes to Diabate. The ground game goes to Griggs. That's up in the air to me. I'd like to see Diabate get back on. I mean, when he was in Pride, he was a lethal striker. And Chad Griggs, he was in Strikeforce. Excellent wrestler. But you know what? I've had enough of the wrestling. I'm going to pick Diabate. Mark Homnick is back, and he's fighting Pablo Garza. And what's interesting to me about this is I've never seen Mark Homnick. He just seems to get fucked every time. To me, I mean, he put on the best performance I've ever seen anyone put on against Jose Aldo. He was he got knocked out like 7 seconds in one of his fights. I forget who did it. But when he got knocked out, it was just crazy. I couldn't believe that he would rush forward like that. And on a fighter, yeah, I mean, I'll find out in a second who did it. For a fighter of that caliber, I mean, when you're Mark Homnick, you're not going to be fighting, bums. And for him to rush forward like that just wasn't even like, he should know not to do that. Just didn't respect the striking of I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice too, kids. He just didn't respect. He didn't respect the striking of the Korean Zombie, and he got knocked out, man. I mean, and it was quick. It was quick. I don't know exactly how quick, but it was quick. He lost against Eddie Yeagan, but I feel like he got completely fucking robbed. Check that fight out. He got robbed, man. So he will be fighting Pablo Garza. Pablo Garza, I like him too, man. He's got a great record. I'm going to go with Homnick. I think he's hungry. He needs a win. He needs a win. He's lost 3 in a row here, guys. He needs a win. And I like Mark Homnick. I think he's incredible. I think Mark the Machine Homnick, trained with the late Sean Tompkins. I think every one of Sean Tompkins' students kind of went off track a little bit when Tompkins passed. But I can see Hominick pulling this off. You know what? Who cares about the rest? Seriously. I mean, I wouldn't care to hear any more predictions because I don't know. It's not that great of a card.